Pot River sources in the Drakensberg, where the pass of the same name traverses its western flank. It's a surprisingly long pass, initially crossing over the Pot River about 22 kilometers northwest of Maclear. This is a reasonable gravel road and can be driven by normal cars in fair weather. In wet weather, you're best off in a 4x4 or a commercial vehicle with decent ground clearance. Most of the pass consists of a fairly straightforward ascent along the main spur of the mountain, with the only set of sharp hairpin corners, consisting of a double set of hairpins, being near the southern end of the pass. From the summit point of 1,783 meters above sea level, the road displays an altitude variance of 461 meters over a distance of 8.9 kilometers, producing an average gradient of 1 in 19, with the steepest parts measuring in at 1 in 6. We've produced this pass from south to north. It starts at the crossing of the Pot River via a narrow single-width concrete bridge. The approach to this bridge is via a very tightly radiused right-hand bend of 90 degrees. The bridge is a simple concrete deck with no safety railings. If you approach this first corner too fast, it could easily result in you not making the turn onto the bridge and tipping over the edge and into the river. The first 1.5 kilometers of the pass is easily the most technical and consists of a tight set of hairpin bends as the road rapidly gains altitude out of the Pot River Valley. At the apex of the second hairpin, there's an access road to the hillside farm on the left. Watch out for livestock on the road here, as well as slow-moving farm vehicles. Things can get quite rough on this pass, with sharp rocks, washaways and deep potholes being the norm after heavy rainfall. The high altitude also means that the pass is subject to snowfall in winter and heavy electrical storms in summer. Once through the initial switchback section, the direction settles down into the north-northwest as the road climbs incessantly up the western side of a valley formed by another tributary of the Pot River, the Wellaway Spruit. As altitude is gained, the view starts opening up, leaving the plantations behind and revealing wide grassy slopes dotted with clear streams and some small waterfalls. The geology here consists of many soft rock types and some shale, resulting in unstable cuttings along the pass. When it rains, rockfalls are quite common, so be constantly aware of this danger if you drive here in rainy weather. If you're driving between Rhodes and Maclear, this is one of 3 passes that you'll traverse along the R396 route, the other 2 being Elands Heights, and the major pass is of course Nordeersneck Pass. Maclear is a small town situated near the Moy River, which is a tributary of the Tsitsa River, 172 kilometers north of East London and 80 kilometers northeast of Elliot. It was founded in 1876 as a military camp called Nkwakwaru Drift and developed rapidly, reaching municipal status in 1916. It was named after Sir Thomas Maclear, who was born in 1794 and died in 1879, and was a famous astronomer who laid the foundation for the trigonometrical survey of the Cape Colony. Thomas Maclear was born in Newton Stewart Island. He trained to be a medical doctor and was a keen amateur astronomer and was made a Fellow of the Royal Society of Astronomers. He arrived in South Africa on the 5th of January 1834 to assume his duties as the Royal Astronomer at the Cape. He immediately established an observatory and scheduled astronomical, meteorological and magnetic observations. Between 1834 and 1838, he worked closely with John Herschel, who was carrying out surveys of the southern sky. From 1841 to 1848, he surveyed an area stretching from Namaqualand to Cape Agulhas to redetermine calculations of the size and shape of the Earth. This created a sound foundation for a trigonometrical survey and accurate mapping of the Cape Colony. Some of his beacons are still used today by cartographers, such as the Maclear beacon at the highest point of Table Mountain. David Livingstone was a close friend, and both had a keen interest in the exploration of Africa. With Maclear's astronomy, observation and assistance, Livingstone was able to plan his expeditions very carefully. Maclear was knighted in 1860 for his achievement as an astronomer, and he retired in 1870 and died on the 14th of July 1879 in Mowbray, Cape Town. The town of Maclear, Eastern Cape and Cape Maclear are named after him. Be sure to watch part 2 of the Pot River Pass, which covers the northern descent.